Alright guys, here's a quick flight or review, I guess you can call it, of the new Super Cub by Parkzone. I think it's about what, 52 inches, so it's not too big. It's a good park flyer size. I wouldn't see any trouble flying it in like a baseball diamond field setup. Today, as you can see, we have the floats on it. We got her out here, lake. It's actually pretty windy. It's gusting a good 15-20 miles an hour, so it's not ideal, but it is getting the job done. I did put the optional flaps there, you can see, and the plane does call for a 1300 milliamp 3-cell, which I'm sure anybody who buys this plane is going to get that battery. And today I'm actually doing a flight with the 2200. I'm the type of person that the lighter the better. I always feel the planes fly better when they're lighter, but honestly this plane flies a lot better on the 2200. Maybe it has a little bit to do with the gusty conditions today, but it penetrates a lot better, especially on the floats. I notice it lands better and takes off a lot better with the 2200. So I'm going to have here my wife record the flight. I'm using a Futaba 14SG radio, nothing too fancy. So let's point her out here into the wind. Another thing I noticed, this plane does not have a rudder on the actual floats itself. You use just the main rudder in the rear. It works, but on a condition like today, I cannot get the plane to come back to me. The only way I get it to come back is I have to land and wait for the wind and the waves to bring it back. So here we go. You can see there, nice takeoff. Once again, this flight is with the 2200 milliamp battery. Stock battery recommended is 3300. Like I said, I've never been a firm believer that putting a bigger battery is better because longer flight time. I'm actually completely against that, just because I notice a lot of the planes fly really sluggish the bigger battery you put on them. So I tend to always stick around with something they recommend. But this plane, it must be because it's a Super Cub. They have a really big wing, so they can throw a lot of weight on it. But this plane, I honestly feel it flies way better with the 2200. I don't notice it very sluggish at all. You can still do rolling circles, which I'll demonstrate here in a little bit. We're going to do some inverted flying here. There we go, we're inverted. Back to upright, inverted, upright, inverted, upright. Look at that, guys. No issues whatsoever with the 2200 and the floats on board. I'm going to attempt to do a rolling circle with this wind we have. It gets kind of hard. I kind of don't have enough rudder on it to get it around, but when there's no wind, I can pretty much do rolling circles all day. I know a lot of you guys may be saying the Super Cub shouldn't be doing that, but that's just to demonstrate the flight envelope of this plane with floats and a 2200 milliamp battery. You could already imagine how it'd fly with the 1300 and the floats on board. That's no throttle whatsoever there, guys. Throttle's all the way down, and check that out. Look at how the plane just floats. That's absolutely no throttle. Here we're going to power up slowly. Yeah, if I would have had the 1300 in there, would have got pushed around a little bit more. So I really am recommending that 2200 on this plane. Do a little flyby here by a little brush right behind us. Put about 20% of flaps in. Get her to slow down just a little bit. Rudder it, nice and easy on the rudder. A little bit of throttle. She's slowing down. Nice touch and go. There you go. Right off. You guys can see that. Really, it doesn't catch too much, I noticed, with this bigger battery. With the smaller battery, I noticed the floats catch a lot more in the water, and it takes a little bit more power to get off. So right now we're going to do a touch and go with full flaps. To demonstrate that, it slows down a lot. And you guys will need elevator, down elevator mixing when you put the flaps on. So be aware of that when you're setting it up. This is full flaps. Coming in again, right here, right through the brush. Nice and easy. A little bit rockier. but I didn't pull up enough elevator there, so let's try it one more time, try and get that a little bit smoother. What we're going to do this time to improve on that is we're going to come in with a little bit more speed and have it bleed off on the end instead of bleeding it off the whole way down and bringing it in with the throttle. So I'm going to come in a little bit more with the negative attitude, as you can see here. There you go, you guys can see. All I did is just carry a little bit more speed. And that was a takeoff right there with full flaps. You guys can see, very nice. So we're going to do another landing here. This landing is going to be with no flaps whatsoever, or I guess touch and go, not landing. Once again, right here, right through the brush. We're going to use the same technique again. We're going to carry a little bit of more speed because we've got a headwind instead of flying it in with throttle. So push down on the nose just a tad bit more. Just be holding down that nose. Stay on top of the rudder to keep it in the right direction. Flare it off. There you go. This is the takeoff with no flaps. You guys just saw. So now we're just going to cruise just right above the water. Hopefully we don't get sucked in with the wind. Here's where you really want to stay on the rudder. Just kind of be countering it so it doesn't suck you in. That's full power right there. Inverted to upright. There we go, some inverted flight here. Back to upright. You can see, even with all this weight, with the floats and the big battery, this thing at full throttle still moves really good. I think Parkzone did an amazing job on this Super Cub and bringing it down quite a bit. This plane I'm actually able to transport in a pretty small car without taking anything off whatsoever. Everything is removable as far as the wings. Even the elevator and rudder are removable. They're held on with screws. I myself did hold on the rudder and elevator with some hot glue just because I don't expect it to be crashing. But if you're someone who likes to mess around, or maybe you're going to be expecting some crashes, maybe don't glue them or don't use too much for whenever you have to replace it. Do another little touch and go here. Flare it off, nice and easy. We're just going to be hopping the water here with a little bit of throttle. Just hopping, as you can see there, nice and easy. And give it some power and go back up. With this 2200 milliamp, I'm able to get a good 8-9 minutes, depending how much I'm on the throttle. With the 1300, I get about 6-7 minutes. So the bigger battery adds about 2-3 minutes. Once again, it's all up to your throttle management, of course. Right now we're going to have a little bit more fun with it. We're going to attempt to do one float landing. So we're going to try and put her down on one float. Let's try it here. Turning left. See how that goes. Hopefully my left wing doesn't get sucked in. Or we'll do right. We'll do right. There you go. Wasn't too bad. A quick tip when you guys are float flying, it's not so much in balsa planes like wooden planes, but especially in these foam ones, they're really light. So every time you're taking off, you want to be holding down elevator, about a quarter to halfway down elevator. Just take, it's a lot easier. Like I said, these foams, they don't have much inertia when they're going. So the drag the water creates tends to really hold them back. So you kind of just got to get them up and out of the water. And that's just how it is with these foam planes. Here goes a nice landing right here. I'm going to try and land with a little bit more power this time, see if I can get it to keep going on the water, or see what it does. See if it either gets sucked in or it just kind of keeps going. Let's see. I haven't tried it yet, but we're going to try it right here. I got about a quarter stick on the throttle, and it just bounces. So not bad at all. You would stay on the throttle a little bit, it'll just kind of bounce. See it just jumps in and out of the water. My timer's just about done, so we're gonna, I'm gonna try and land with a little bit more speed. We're gonna try and land with a little bit more speed. We're gonna try and land with a little bit more speed. We're gonna try and land with a little bit more speed. We're gonna try and land with a little bit more speed. We're gonna try and land with a little bit more speed. We're gonna try and land with a little bit more speed. We're gonna try and land with a little bit more speed. We're gonna try and land with a little bit more speed. We're gonna try and land with a little bit more speed. We're gonna try and land with a little bit more speed. We're gonna try and land with a little bit more speed. We're gonna try and land with a little bit more speed. We're gonna try and land with a little bit more speed. We're gonna try and land with a little bit more speed. We're gonna try and land with a little bit more speed. We're gonna try and land with a little bit more speed. We're gonna try and land with a little bit more speed. We're gonna try and land with a little bit more speed. We're gonna try and land with take here for a landing, right through the bushes right here. I think we'll do about a quarter flap, maybe halfway. We'll do halfway flaps. Remember to come in with the nose pointed down, especially when you got a headwind. I'm gonna take off some flaps, a little bit more, that should be good. I just took off all the flaps right now because it tends to be slowing down quite a lot. So rudder it in, remember rudder, especially when you're slow, when you're flying really slow, nice and easy on the rudder. So there you guys go, that was the last and final landing there for this video. Like I said, since this plane doesn't have a rudder on the floats, you kind of can't really turn it around. The wind will not allow it whatsoever. I've been trying to do it. So all I really do is just set the flaps all the way down, and it acts like a little sail. What it does, it catches the wind and actually blows it right back to me. So typically I try to land as close as I can, and within a few minutes it comes back. So right now, as soon as it gets back, I'm going to show you guys the battery compartment and pretty much show you guys the whole Super Cub up close, so you can get roughly how big it is, all the control surfaces it has, and we'll do a quick rundown. So here you guys go. You guys can see the upscale and detail. You see the wind generators it has here. It actually does help the plane out a lot. I flew it once without them the first flight, and then I installed them. I noticed a big difference. This plane does have one servo per the aileron. I saw a few people worried about water getting in them. I mean, you see here, water has been splashing on these servos, and I've had no issues whatsoever with them. The flaps do take one servo. I forget the servo they recommend. Pretty much you can use any 9-gram servo you want. I just bought what Parkzone recommended just because it fits right in. You can see there the flaps, that's full flaps. You can see the down elevator mixing I have. These struts here, they're fully functional. They're 100% functional. They're not just there for looks. The floats, you can see here, are perfect for this plane. They're really easy to take off too, just a few screws. You can take these off and put the landing gear on. Another thing I absolutely love about this plane is the way Parkzone really thought about the battery compartment. The battery compartment on electric planes is one thing I always hate. It's really hard to get into. It's really small. You can only fit a certain size battery. But what they did here, all this is your battery compartment. So you can see when you're running the 2200 milliamp battery, I scoot it all the way back till it touches the rear. When I'm running the 3300 milliamp, I kind of scoot it more towards the front, where only a piece of it is just here on the strap and the rest is hanging out on the front. It's a beautiful compartment they did here. Another thing, like I said, the tail section is removable with screws, so you can remove the elevator and the rudder if ever you have a crash, or maybe for transportation or whatever the case is. But that's pretty much it here today.